Hey, Ed Moses here. I've decided that I'm going to do a whole series of videos just because I think it's fun. So anyway, here's the first one. And it's on, it's a term called hysteresis. I don't know if you know what that term means, but originally the term was applied to, let's say, let me explain it this way. You've got a piece of steel. You bend that piece of steel, and when you're done bending it, the steel goes back to its original shape. That is hysteresis. Going back, it's the memory of where it was before, the original condition. The same goes for, let's say you're looking at tuning a guitar, if you're tuning a piano, something of that nature. Now, people who play a piano can probably really understand this. I play guitar, and it's the same process. What happens is there's a memory that's in that metal. So when you first put strings on that piano or that guitar, what happens is it stays in tune for a very short time, and because of that memory, hysteresis kicks in and it wants to go back to its original condition before. And what happens is it's got to be retuned over and over again in order to actually stay in tune. And it's a process. I don't play piano. I know that it takes quite a few tunings to get a piano to stay in tune. On a guitar, well, it takes a while. What I do is I end up stretching the strings so that it helps the process, so that maybe within a week I can keep it in tune a lot easier. I won't have to tune it as much. But basically, that's hysteresis. But today, what I wanted to relate it to was on the subconscious level. Hysteresis can relate to the subconscious level, and a lot of people don't realize this, or they go through it but don't really know what to call it. And let me give you an example. I'm into entrepreneurship, so it means a lot to me to, when I, trying to build businesses, different investments and stuff like that. And what happens is, especially when you're new, you go into a business, you don't really know what you're doing. Especially if it's an internet-based business. Maybe you don't know how to acquire leads. Maybe you don't know how to do a video. Maybe you don't know how to market. So what happens is, maybe you try a few times and you stop, and then you don't do anything. So then it's just like right before you even began this process. So you end up back to where you were to begin with. Here, let me try to make a clearer example of what I mean. Let's say you set a range of goals for yourself. I'm going to, with this week, I'm going to learn to do pay-per-click marketing. I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to tweak it. I'm going to tweak it. I'm going to tweak it until my campaign works and I get all this business to my website. Let's say you do that, and then by the end of the week, you still haven't seen any results. Well, maybe you're going to quit practicing that, and what ends up happening is you don't do it and you go back to not doing anything. Therefore, on an entrepreneurial level, you've kind of gone dead. There's nothing happening. You've gone back to the original condition that you were before you started. This goes for like a diet, like let's say New Year's, everybody's got this New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose weight this year. I'm going to go to the gym and I am going to lose weight because when spring comes I'm going to look the best that I've ever looked in my life. Well, guess what? A lot of times these people go for about 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. They start working out. They don't see any results. Oh, this comes up, the kids need to do that, or just a whole array of excuses which comes up to make you so you quit doing the going to the gym routine that you had planned on doing. So by spring you look like I've lost all this weight. So you end up not going anymore. You forget. And so in other words, hysteresis kicks in and you're back to what you were before you even started. So that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what I'm trying to explain. So let's take another look at it. let's say you want to reach that goal, and you don't want hysteresis to kick in. You don't want to stop the succession that you're going through in order to reach that goal. So what do? What can you do so that you don't slip? Well, one thing you can do is actually take a pad or something and every day write those goals down. You know, maybe you've got 5 goals, maybe you've only got 1, but write them down every single day. And I don't mean write it down one day and then read it every day. You can do that, but here's the problem with doing it that way. What happens with a lot of people are they'll write it down, you go back to read it, maybe you've got something else on your mind, so you're reading it, but in the back of your mind you're thinking, oh God, I got to take the garbage out. Oh God, I got to feed the dog. I've got, so in other words, you're reading it, but you're not thinking about it. So when I say write it down, it's what's actually happening. It's causing you to think about what you're doing at the same time, because you have to think about it while you write it. You can't just write and not think. I mean, I don't think you can do that. So on a subconscious level, that's how you get it to sink in. That's how it works. So if you want to reach your goals and you don't want hysteresis to kick in and cause that regression to occur, this is what I suggest you do. Write down that goal every day. And you'll at least try it for 30 days. See what you think. See if it happens. So essentially that's what hysteresis is. I've been reading this book called The 1 Minute Millionaire. Just picked it up not too long ago. It's not even a new book anymore, but I had never read it. And it's actually a pretty good book. That's kind of where I got the idea, or actually, yeah, the idea for this video on hysteresis. Basically, they kind of describe it like I did. The term describes the tendency of materials to snap back to the original shape once the pressure being applied is removed. For example, when a piece of steel is heated, it expands. Stop applying the heat and the steel returns to its original condition as it cools. Hysteresis has taken place. And here it explains like in a human being. Often an individual returns to his or her original state when new forces is no longer being applied. It remembers where it was before the new force arrived, and it returns to that familiar place. This happens a lot, especially like in the diet or the exercise example that I use. It happens a lot in the entrepreneurial field. That's why a lot of people never reach their goals. They give up. They forget what their goals are because they don't write them down. It just kind of goes away and they snap back to the original place that they were. So anyway, my goal really with this video was to give you something to think about here with hysteresis. Get your mind churning on trying to reach your goals. What can you do to reach your goals so you don't go back to that original state where you don't want to be? So I hope that this video was somehow informative and useful to you. And if you thought that it was informative and useful, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. And I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Bye.